As y'all well know, I was raised in the city, but I'm a country boy at heart. Thanks to this lady right here, my grandma Nellie Mae Sutton. She taught me how to make her recipe of chicken and dumplings, and it's just as beautiful as she is. Oh my God. I'm gonna teach you guys how to make it. Come on in this kitchen. All right, y'all. First things first, you want to go ahead and put your chicken in some water. I cleaned them already, of course, but don't cut that fat off. You need that fat. We're going to start off with 2 stalks of celery. We're going to chop that up, and we're going to do a whole sweet onion. You're going to chop that up as well. And yes, for my chicken, I'm using some dark meat. I use some legs, thighs, and chicken backs. Now, you can use whatever chicken that you would like to. I don't like to use chicken breast. It tends to be dry. It has no flavor. You need that fat. All right, now let's season our broth. I'm going to start with some black pepper. I also use some onion and garlic powder as well. I didn't put it in the video. I forgot to film it. Next, I'm going to add in some chicken base. I do not like using chicken broth or chicken stock because it doesn't have enough flavor for me. With this base, I can control the intensity of the flavor. All right, now let's make our dough. I'm going to start off with some ice cold water. You need ice cold water and self-rising flour to make this dough. Self-rising flour, a little kosher salt, ice cold water. That's all you need to make this dough. It's so easy. So while our chicken is cooking, I got y'all. I'm gonna walk y'all through the process on how to make some dough. Come on with me. Come on. All right, now there's really no measurements for this. I don't have no measurements, but I'm gonna try to give you one the best as possible. So we're gonna start out with about 2 cups of self-rising flour. The reason why there's no measurement for it because you're gonna keep having to add flour. You're gonna have to keep on adding a little water until you get it right. Okay, that's the reason why there's no real recipe. My grandma didn't give me one, but I'm gonna follow what she did. I'm gonna show y'all the same way I learned. All right, after you put your 2 cups of self-rising flour inside of the bowl, you're gonna add your pinch of salt in. Then you're gonna add in some of your ice cold water. Now, save some for later because don't pour it all in at the same time. You gotta save some, okay? We're gonna mix this up until it starts to flake. Once you see your dough start to flake, you're gonna put that spoon down and you're gonna put them hands on in there. Put them hands in there, just wash them, wrench them off like your grandma told you to do. Wrench them hands off and put them inside that dang on bowl because you need to fill this dough. So now you're gonna add in a little bit more water. And as you go on, you're going to keep filling the dough. Make sure if it still feels sticky, you want to keep on repeating the process until all the dough start to pull away from the bowl, and you have no more dough, no more flour at the bottom of the bowl. I'm sorry. Sorry for stumbling. I'm trying to do this all in one take, in one breath. I'm not doing no extra cuts on this. All right, let's go. We're going to do a little bit more water. And as you see, it's more flour or more dough still at the bottom of the bowl, but we're going to keep on working this dough in this bowl until we get it all collected. Until all of that start pulling away from the bowl, you're going to have to keep on working that dough. Keep working that dough. I know your hands get tired, but keep working that dough. We're going to get it right today. All right, now you see, as I keep touching the dough, I'm looking for it to stick to my hand. It's not sticking to my hand. That's what you want. You got a nice, good dough right here. Next, we're going to transfer this to a clean surface, and we're going to work the dough and knead the dough a little bit more. You need to knead the dough a little bit more. You get worked. Got to work it so it can be nice and pliable. And you see I keep folding it back and forth. That's how you get those nice, good layers inside of those dumplings. Keep folding it back and forth, pushing it, pull, push, pull, folding, and keep working that dough so you get some nice, I call them pillows. When them dumplings float up, get nice little pillows. And we're going to sit here and leave it alone. Let it rest. So while the dough is resting, you want to go ahead and pull your chicken out and strain the broth. And then we're going to pull the chicken off the bone. Get all them bones out of there. I want nobody to die. Okay, next, after your dough has rested, you want to go ahead and dust it on both sides so it doesn't stick to your rolling pin. You want to dust it nicely now. You want to dust it to the point where, it's not going to stick. And then next, what you're going to do is you're going to take your rolling pin and you're going to dust that too as well so it doesn't stick when you're rolling it out. And we're going to roll this until we get it paper thin. So it's going to take a little process. This is the longest part of making chicken and dumplings. But I promise you it's well worth it. It's well worth it. And it's not as hard as it looks. You're going to keep on pulling the dough back and forth and throwing more flour up underneath it so that it doesn't stick. And then you can continue rolling it out until it's paper thin. That's the trick to getting the best dumplings. You want your dumplings to be paper thin like this. You can almost see through it, but not tearing apart. That's what you don't want. You don't want it to tear apart. But you do want them to be as thin as possible, like I said. But then you're going to take a pastry cutter and you're going to cut these into strips or whatever desired size that you like. I find it easy to do it this way. You can do it with a knife or whatever. But then I go back and I cut them in half again. Or like I said, you can leave them as long as you want them. After you cut your dumplings, you want to go ahead and dust them in flour and put them on a plate so we can get ready to place them inside this broth. Because matter of fact, you need to turn your broth on. Your broth need to be boiling. All right, now let's get our dumplings over to the pot. And we're gonna start dropping our dumplings in one at a time. I like to try to not crowd the pot, try to give a second for one to pop up, then I start the process all over again. And then after every once in a while, I'll go ahead and I will stir it. And it's just just a moving around, so the water is moving around each one of the dumplings, because it is just like pasta. So you make sure the water is moving around so they're cooking fully all the way through. And another thing, I know that most people like, I didn't see you add no shortening to the dumplings, but my grandmother never did. She always just did just those 3 ingredients, and that was it. And I never had a problem. All right, now, so what I added to that was some basil I added. That's going to give it a little color. And then I'm going to add in some carnation milk. Now, you can use some heavy cream or half and half, but carnation milk works the best. Then we're going to add our chicken back in here. Add our chicken back in. After you add all your chicken back in, you're going to add in a pat of butter. More like about half a stick of butter, unsalted. I didn't show it in the video, but then we're going to let our dumplings cook a little bit longer, just on low, right before we get ready to serve them. And you already know what time it is. They don't sat there, don't thickened up a little bit. Yeah. Chicken and dumplings, baby. You see them? You see them? And I know my grandmother's smiling down on me from heaven that she taught her grandson real well. Because guess what? My mama don't even know how to make these. I have to make them for her. So I'm glad my grandmother taught me this recipe, and I'm teaching to you all. I hope you guys really enjoy this recipe because it's something close and dear to my heart. Enjoy, y'all. And you already know, you like what you see? Try it.